Okay, so we're back with round two of the third week of Grand Arena Championships. This time I decided to do a live recording. A couple of matches before I've done a pre-recorded version and then added commentary later on. And a few of you have liked that, and a few of you have liked the live version because it doesn't spoil the battles and my reactions are live. So what I'm going to do is in the future I'll do the pre-recorded version only if I'm facing a really tough opponent and I need to focus on the battle, or if I don't have time to do a live recording, so I'll add the commentary back in later. But most of the cases, I think I'll do the live commentary version, since that's something that even I'm more comfortable with and I enjoy more. Another thing that I've done this time is, as you know, I've been having my more than my share of freezes and bugs in the game. So I decided to turn on the gaming mode over here. There's a mode on my phone called the Fanatic mode, which really optimizes the CPU and RAM and all of that, and prevents any background disturbances and all that. So I'm hoping that this makes a difference and makes gives a few more dedicated resources to the app, and prevents any of the issues that I've been having. Let's see. But either way, I'm not that interested in results these days. I'm more interested in actually enjoying the gaming itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what my opponent has done. So my opponent is, let me just take a brief look at him. He's Jupiter from the Zpang Alliance, um, and yeah, 5.2 GP, million GP, about pretty similar roster again. I mean, yeah, at this stage, most of the opponents that I'm seeing right now are very similar in roster and mods to me. So I won't go too much into detail on that. What I've done on defense this time is a couple of things. I've decided to go with the odd man out concept for at least four or five of my teams, and I want to talk a little bit about that. As you can see over here, my opponent has already gone, Jupiter. He's gone ahead within the first hour of the attack phase opening. In fact, he went ahead and did all of his attacks. So I'll talk a little bit about my defense now. So over here, what I did was I just kept my standard Kira prepared squad and my CLS squad with two tanks this time. I usually go in with Captain Han solo over here. I'm not sure how effective that guy is, especially on defense. On offense, at least you can revive people. But over here, I decided to go with two tanks. I think that might be a better option on defense, both Ben and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. Because you've got more than enough attackers and damage dealers in the first three, CLS, Han, and Chewie. So having two tanks really adds a lot of benefit and support. Plus, both these tanks, they also act as they give a lot of turn meter to the team. Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, on his basic, he gives 15%. And because my lead on CLS is Zetard, anytime that rebels resist any debuffs, which Old Ben gives out a ton of, these guys get tons of turn meter as well. So it's a very turn meter generating team. I think it'll be pretty decent on defense. Just today I was talking about my prepared squad with some of my teammates. They were asking if it's worth it to Zeta these guys, Kira and Young Lando and Han. And I said, no, it's not really worth it. These guys never seem to give more than one battle on defense. But first time I'm seeing, I think, in a long time that these guys have had more than one hold. So happy to see that. Over here we have, again, my opponent struggled a little bit more over here as well. Three battles against my Ewoks and Nest. So that Nest is problematic to a lot of people, and usually people tend to take in troopers against Ewoks. So maybe my opponent tried to do that and take in a cheap team to take out the Ewoks, but Nest always messes up those plans. So it's good to see that got a few holes. And then my Bounty Hunter team, I kept Shore in there this time. With just to prevent the trooper counter, because I kept a Django lead this time to help with some of the speed, initial speed bump and the turn meter gain. So that's so both these teams did pretty decently well as well. So in both these teams, the odd man out, you can see over there, Nest is the odd man out, and Nest, she synergizes really well with the Ewoks in this case. I've replaced Logray with her, and then down here, Shore being a pre-taunting taunt. Synergizes well as the fifth odd man out in a Django team like this, especially if you don't want to waste your Nest in the Bounty Hunter squad. And at the back over here, I've kept so here I've kept my Rex clones team on defense this time. Last time my clones team took out Grievous, which I was very happy about, but I probably won't use them on offense against Grievous until I get Five's Zeta, because um, the Grievous team, there's an 80 to 90% chance that they're going to get rid of either Rex or Cody, either Rex or Echo. And that's when 5 Zeta really comes in handy. And I want to wait till I give that Zeta, which is going to be the next Grand Arena Championship match, before I start using Rex on offense against General Grievous. But that is definitely my plan, to save clones on offense against the Grievous team. And then since I've kept my Grievous on offense to use in a Suicide Squad, I'm more and more liking the Suicide Squad better as a counter to Darth Revan instead of my Padme. So I decided to keep the rest of my Separatist droids under Newt lead, with Dooku in there as well. Those teams were one shot, so I'm thinking he must have taken something heavy against them. I kept Watt with my clones. It really didn't give much of a hold. I think he must have saved his best teams for the end. Over here, then I kept my Sith Empire team without Darth Basti and without Malak. But even then, you've got Marauder, Darth Revan, who's at 334 speed, as well as HK. So you can't really take any other a B squad to take that out. So I'm sure he must have taken either his Padme team or something else equally good to try to take that out. And this team, the fifth man odd over here is Malak. And what I did over here was I decided to keep Malak under an Old Republic squad. And this really works out well for a couple of reasons. One is this Old Republic squad, they don't have much speed, so they really do need a couple of tanks to keep the weaker attackers alive. And the second reason is Malak, as you all know, doesn't have any protection. It's all 100% health. So anytime that Malak gets damaged by any attack and goes below 100% health, Zalbar starts taunting. So this basically makes Zalbar almost permanently taunting all the time. And obviously, anytime someone hits Malak with dots or crits, he's going to end up giving fear out and taunting quite a lot as well. So this combination proved to be a little difficult for my opponent Jupiter, and maybe they already exhausted all their best teams on the other squads. But this was a way for me to make my C-level Karth team into something that really requires an A team to take out, just by adding Malak in. So that I think did pretty well. And let's see if I continue to put something like this in on defense in the future, because this allows me to keep my Darth Revan on defense as well, and also use my Darth Basti on offense with EP. So that's my defense. So it's a relatively low pressure match for me right now. My opponent's got 1570. I just need to clear the board and I'm through. So, but I'm not going to take it too easy, because he does have his Darth Revan on defense. Fully, most of them G13. So I'm not going to take it too easy, but let's see. I'll at least try to one shot all of the teams. Okay, so let's start with the toughest battle first. I'm going to take my Suicide Squad against the Darth Revan team, and hopefully take out at least 2 or 3, if not one shot them. So there we go. First, you apply target locks, and that's good news. Both the tanks have got target lock, which means that they're not going to get buffs. That's the advantage of the Zeta on IPD. And now I'm going to apply some more target locks with the IG-88, which is why he's a great lead for these guys. And then this guy's Carbonite Projector, T3's Carbonite Projector. This one gives tons of debuffs out, which is going to help with Grievous's damage. And target locked enemies can't resist these debuffs. That's why it's so important to have a couple of characters inflict target lock before that. And now the first step is to get rid of Basti, 161k hit. And that always happens. So this guy is Malak is going to go and shock BB-8, who's taunting, and then HK is going to go ahead and finish off the leader. And then at that stage, you have to go and target Malak and finish him off. Unfortunately, in this case, Malak did not die. It wasn't a critical hit. So I'm going to go again and this time it was a critical hit. Okay, so this is a little problematic because T3 has gone, so there's no more damage from T3's unique. So that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go in with a crawl on Darth Revan, because usually if T3 was alive, I would have done an AoE and it would have taken out the whole team. But now I'm going to do a crawl and try to take out Darth Revan. There we go. So at least now it will be an easy cleanup team. Let me go AoE. And let's hope we can take down. Oh, okay. This was unfortunate. Almost took him down. So if T3 was alive, the AoE would have cleared up all three pretty easily. But this is not a big deal. It's an extremely easy cleanup. I probably might just go in with my rebels and finish these guys off. Who else? Maybe Han for some healing. Oh, I should have got a dispel. Well, no worries. The AoE should take care of him. And let's apply some days. I think they've got less health and protection, but that really doesn't matter. Okay, now it's just a matter of cleanup. Okay, so yeah, I got a little lucky that HK was at so low health, so AoE was able to clean him up. But ideally, I should have taken a dispeller over there, because I knew Sith Trooper should have been taunting. Okay, so anyway, it was a cheap cleanup because Darth Revan wasn't there, so the cleanup wasn't really much of an issue. Now let's go ahead against the Geos and use Treya against the Geos. And I'm going to go in with just these four, because my goal is to one-shot. And these guys do have the lead on the Zeta lead, so it could be problematic. And they're focusing down on Nihilus, which is weird. Usually they focus down on Treya. But no worries, it shouldn't take much time to take these guys out. Okay, they are killing themselves with the assists. And do I get a turn? There we go. So this finishes him off, and then the others will fall pretty easily. This is the reason I don't keep my Geos on defense anymore, because they're so great on offense, and they can be taken out pretty easily with a Treya team. Usually I don't lose anyone, but this time they just decided to target down on Nihilus for some reason. All right. At least I got an undersized victory out of it. So there's the Shakti clone. So this guy had a really good clones team, which is the other reason I decided to keep my Geos on offense, because Geos can do a really, really good job against clones. It's a pretty easy takeout team for clones. And there's also the very easy Rogue One team, which shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm very tempted to take Wampa against it, but yeah, there's also there's a Night Sister team out front as well, which I wanted to use Wampa on. Maybe I'll use since I've got enough teams on offense. Maybe I'll use my. Oh yeah, I've got my Padme as well. I've got Jedi Knight Revan, and I've got my own sister, so I've got plenty of offense. So this shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and use my Wampa against the Rebels, because that is a ton of fun. Watching Wampa hit these Rebels for 100k I haven't run my Wampa against Rebels for a while, so that should be a fun match. All right, so let's finish the clones. They're definitely there's only one team that I've got on offense against clones that I want to use, and that's going to be Geos. And they're going to go first and do a bunch of things, but my Geos should do a decent enough job. Now, one thing to note is that the fives over here is Zetard, so I do need to kill the fives first before I do anything else. So let's go after fives. Okay, let's call maybe Spy to assist. There we go. And that Shakti is double Zetard and 6 stars. So it is a formidable clones team. But fives is out, not a problem. Oh, you know what? Actually, the thing to do is to take out Shakti first, since because once Shakti goes, then the clones really don't get retribution anymore. So that prevents a lot of these counters and all of that. But but yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's very difficult to end with full health and full protection on these guys. I was always going to get 55 banners. There's just no way to get 60 banners on clones. At least on Night Sisters, you can very easily stall on the zombie. And last time that I fought clones with my Geos, they had Barris and R2, and R2 has got tons of health, so I was able to use the stalling game on R2 to get back to full health and full protection. But unfortunately, these clones are too weak, so you really can't stall on them for too long. So it was always going to be a 55 banner match. Okay, I'll save the Wampa for last. That I can probably end the game with that match. Over here, so I usually take troopers against bounty hunters, and maybe that's what I should do this time. But I should check the speed beforehand, because if I take a look at the speed of Django, he's pretty slow. Bosk is the one to worry about, and he's at 264 speed, which is 294 with the Django lead bonus. And my trooper team is at 296 speed, 276 plus the 20 from the lead. So I will go before Bosk, but if ability block does not land on Bosk, there's a very high chance that he's going to start taunting, and he's going to take a turn. But the good thing is that it's his Bosk does not have the Trandoshan Rage Zeta, which basically gives him a taunt whenever the enemy has got protection. So I think the troopers should still do a decent enough job against these guys. So let's take these guys in and do that. Okay. Boss should. Oh, he did not start taunting yet. So let's go after Boba. He's the weakest. So see, the ability block did not land on him, but we should be able to dispel him and finish off Boba once, and then work on Django. So 1 death for Django, 2 death for Django, and now let's work on, yeah, this was easy. This was a pretty simple bounty hunter team. So as long as you outspeed them and boss doesn't have the Zeta, it shouldn't be a problem. And even if he does have the Zeta, it's if you outspeed them, it becomes a pretty straightforward match. Okay, now I can use my Padme against these guys. I'm saving my Wampa for the top. I've got my crew team. I've got my Padme team. I have my Jedi Knight Revan team. And I have my sisters as well as my EP. So I've got tons of really, really good squads. And I have my Night Sisters and Basti Wampa, of course. So I've got a lot of options. let's go with my Padme against these guys, and I'm gonna go undersized because I don't think it's yeah, it doesn't seem as threatening. There's only one G13 over here, so let's go with my Padme against these guys, and go in undersized and finish it off, and then we can polish off the back with something else. Let's get some protection up, and let's go after, yeah, let's go after Asajj. That's the one death. All right, let's try Asajj again. Okay, so now we have exhausted both the saviors, both the freed revives from zombie. So we can focus on taking some of these guys down. Okay. One more thing that you can do once you finish the two free revives from zombie, you can get if the zombie is not too tanky, you could get zombie down two times, and then once she's completely low on she's used up both her stacks of slow, you can then go and work on the other sisters in leisure because zombie's not going to taunt again. But that's really not necessary. I'm just going to finish off all of them one by one right now. Got enough courage on everyone. Let's finish her off. Okay. So I'm going to stall and try to recover some health and protection on these guys. So this is what I mean. On zombie, once you kill her twice, I'm going to try to do that. Oh, that's fine. All right. Yeah, there's no way to recover protection on these guys. But yeah, sisters are pretty easily taken care of by that team. So he had a really weak defense. I'm not sure why he struggled so much on my offense. Maybe he wanted to use some cheap teams to take out the front, which is why he struggled so much. Because all the battles in the front had multiple battles against him, and he had all his offense left. So that's really weird. Okay, so let's. What can we use against these guys? This is a mishmash team. Can probably take my Revan against this one, the Separatist squad, and I can take my EP against these guys. I don't want to take my Night Sisters because they'll end up giving me 55 banners. Let me take my EP against that because I really want to try the EP Basti squad again. It's yeah, it's a beautiful squad to have. All right, let's try this out. I'm going to go undersized again on this one. Let's actually quickly take a look at our feats to see if there's anything that we are missing out or anything we need to claim. 10 Grand Arena battles on the first attempt. All right, so we just need to undersized squads with left 6 left, so we can take care of 3 more undersized squads in this battle itself. All right, so let's go ahead and finish off the battle. Okay, so I am planning to take, so I have crew as well, which can do great against these guys, and I've got sisters as well, but I'm planning to take the EP team undersized with Bastilla Shan to do something good over here. Let's see. So Vader's going to go first, I'm going to try to work on this guy first. Before that, I'm going to fracture Zalbar. Fear. And let's land a stun. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. That is a sight to see. And who has got... no, I don't think anyone has shock. We don't need to do that yet. Okay, so Zalbar has started taunting. Let's pass the turn meter to her and get the fracture off again. There we go. Fracture is out again. We don't need to stun anyone. And some more debuffs. Yeah, this is a great team. You don't even allow the enemy to take any turns. That's how solid this is. There we go. Now it's just a matter of cleanup against this guy. So I'm definitely keeping Basti on offense going forward to use with the EP team. They can very easily underman a team for 61 banners, and especially a relatively weaker team towards the end. And the other advantage is these guys, since in this particular case, Zalbar is so tough to take out, so it allows you to recover some health and protection towards the end in case you want to top up. Okay, so that was a fun team to take against Karth. Now, I've got my Jedi Knight Revan team, which is probably going to be the most strongest team I have left. So let me use that against these guys, and then we'll polish it up with Wampa towards the end. Okay, and with these guys as well, let me go in undersized and finish this battle. Let's take care of Vandor. I mean, there are no other scoundrels. There's L3, and then there's Newt, but Newt is not going to be revived by Vandor, since he's not light side. So there's only L3 who can be revived by Vandor, and yeah, I think I'll just take care of Dooku first. Vandor is really not much of a threat because Dooku has tons of counters which can prove irritating. And now I can take care of Vandor. There we go. Now it's just a question of cleanup. All right, call him in. Okay, so yeah, not really a very tough board to clear. So wasn't that interesting a match. But let's see who we face on the third day. Hopefully, we should be able to get some good matches. This is actually a good chance to experiment and finish off your feats and quests if you're faced with a relatively light defense like that. Okay. So this team is taken care of. Let's get rid of this guy. And then let's just finish off L3. 61 there again. So yeah, nothing much towards the back wall over here. And now let's go in for our fun Wamping. And this is something I've been looking forward to. Wampa against the Rebels. So let's take the best support characters who can really amplify Wampa's damage. There's Master's Training over here. There's Bastilla Shan's buffs. Do we have any other characters who can give out tons of buffs? R2 only gives out buffs, the buffs to light side allies. I think there are some buffs that he gives to combat analysis, critical chance. All allies gain some critical chance. Yeah, so there are some benefits that he might give to Wampa. I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can. This guy. He gives. He can be called to assist. So we've got 3 characters who can be called to assist, who can call Wampa to assist. Anyone else? Yeah, I think these guys will do a decent job. Okay, so now let's see how much we can pump Wampa's offense up. I want to land the biggest hits possible over here. All right, Masters Training to Wampa. Let's land some days. And I'm going to land some stun over there and then call Wampa to assist. Ooh, 62k, that is something. Okay, now Wampa is dazed, so that's no good. But we can we've got a few cleansers. We can get the job done. All right, so let me slow this down, pass some buffs on to Wampa, and let's see if this is able to take out K2SO. 30k without a crit. 58k. All right. Okay, let's land another big hit. 59, that's more like it. I want to see if I can't reach a 100k figure. All right, let me call Basti to assist. Okay, so I don't think Wampa has had his roar yet. 75k, not bad. I should have let him at least get to 1 roar. All right, that's the roar. Now let's just do a simple basic on him and see if let's see what the hit is this time. 91, not bad. Well, that was a good Womping. That was tons of fun. So it was a quick clear of the board. Nothing too interesting. Nothing really challenging yet, but it's going to be 1892. Yeah, it's I think that was because I had a 2-shot against his Darth Revan team over here. But yeah, let's see who I face in the 3rd round. As you know, I lost my 1st round against Sergo just because of a freeze that I had. But let's see. Hopefully, I face an interesting opponent in my next round. So one of these guys, Castle, he's a patron of Indigo, who's a good buddy of mine. He also does some Grand Arena streams, and you guys should check out his video series as well. It's pretty good stuff. And what I'll be doing is I hope that I get matched up with Castle in the 3rd round. But it probably might not be the case. Castle is a good player. He'll probably end up going to the finals. But in case I do get matched up with Castle, then we'll probably plan and do something interesting for you guys. Some theme or something interesting we might end up doing. On the topic of Indigo, I will be putting out another video a little later tonight, which is going to be a Q&A session on for Indigo's patrons. So what I'm going to do is I've collected over the last week or so a lot of questions from Indigo's patrons from his Discord server, and I've compiled them, and I'll be spending a little bit of time on a half-an-hour video maybe just going through all those questions, giving my thoughts on all of that stuff, and it's just going to be a general Q&A basically. And towards the end of that video, I plan to give my thoughts on the relic system which has come out, and how it's going to impact your PvP matches, and your Grand Arena Championship, both matchmaking as well as other implications on Grand Arena Championship. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for the video later on tonight. I will upload it in probably 8 to 10 hours from now. So yeah, that's about it for now. So thanks for joining me for this one. Join me again in a couple of days on Grand Arena Championship when we go to the third round of the third week. Okay, thanks for joining in. I'll talk to you guys later.